Okay, well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining. I think today is actually going to be a fairly short call. We do not have a speaker today, though I do want to let you know we will have a couple tomorrow for you to consider. You saw an email from me sometime this week. Michigan Economic Development Corporation just awarded a couple $1 million to a funding agency actually out of the Flint area called Metro Community Development. And they now have dollars available to offer in loans, no grants, but loans to small business for anything that they need. So it could be for inventory, working capital, equipment, really anything. So we're going to have a speaker, I think it's Brian Gloniak is his name, who's going to come on the call tomorrow to inform everybody about what that program is all about. We're also going to have our friend Chris Schuler from our GST Michigan Works office. He's going to join us. He's got some updates on what they're working on, as well as some new updates out of the Unemployment Insurance Agency, including something we've talked about several times, the WorkShare program. And I will, Jody, when we get to your part here, if you could just once again reiterate the WorkShare. I think it's certainly something as you guys are getting back to work and you may not be in a position to bring people back on full time. It's basically a way to help get people back, but also not cut them off the unemployment, which we know is a pretty significant concern for people because it's such a large check, basically. So that'll be coming up tomorrow. I do want to say, Brett and Jody and I talked about this on our staff call earlier today. As things start to open back up, and they have started already, we want to make sure we're serving everybody well with these calls. We know that with people back to work, they're probably not going to be tuning in every day like they were before. So we want to make sure we're being very strategic about that. Obviously, long term, we're not going to do a daily call forever because, we got to get back to doing what we're doing. But we want to preserve the call in some capacity. Maybe it's once a week, once every couple weeks, once a month. But I think people have seemed to enjoy this. So, would definitely love to hear from all of you what would be good for you in the coming months and years in terms of scheduling. But then also, as our regular listeners know, we have brought on a ton of speakers over the past 10 weeks or so. I would say we've probably had 25, 30 speakers of all different kinds come on the call, and I know that's really of great value to a lot of you. If we haven't had anybody that would meet your needs, or if there's somebody that's been on before that you'd like to hear from again, please let us know. We're certainly always looking for folks to participate. So would love to hear what your needs are in terms of speakers. So I just want you all to know we're thinking about the future now as we start to open back up, what this looks like, so we want your input on that. The big thing today, you've gotten a few messages from me on this, is at 10 a.m., less than an hour, we have our loan forgiveness webinar. This is something that I'm actually participating in. It's a regional effort to try to get businesses aware of all the nuts and bolts of loan forgiveness. I did send out this morning, we got a copy of the formal application, had a few companies inquire about the actual paperwork to get their loan forgiven. That was provided in an email to you today. But the purpose of the webinar is to give you an overview of the forgiveness process and also be able to ask questions. So that is at 10 a.m. today. A link to viewing that is in that email. You have a couple of choices, either Facebook or YouTube live, and you'll be able to get on there and then ask any question and learn. So hopefully if you have a PPP loan, which I know quite a few of you do, you don't want to miss it. So please make plans to join. If you can't join, I do know there will be a recording available afterwards, so stay tuned for that. There's also a webinar coming up tomorrow. We're part of, promoted it. MEDA, Michigan Economic Developers Association, our state association, they are having a webinar that has more of a focus on local government, municipalities, cities, townships, villages, county, to basically get some good insight on what's happening with you. We've got a representative from the State Department of Treasury that's going to be on to talk about funding, state funding, which is so critical, particularly with revenue sharing. So that was an email to you earlier this week. I'd encourage you to participate if you fall in one of those categories. We are also going to be working, and this was mentioned before as well, we're going to be working on putting together a cybersecurity webinar. We have a new cybersecurity firm, pretty exciting news. They're going to be locating in Owasso, good-sized company, and we wanted to be able to introduce them to the community by offering this to our small businesses. As we know, being at home over these last several weeks, the threat of hacking and other online vulnerabilities has grown, and the idea of having a firm based in Shiawassee County that can not only speak to those issues but also provide support to your company with those issues is really good. So it's a company called BitLift, BITLYFT. So we're going to be trying to organize that here in the coming weeks, probably first or second week of June. Another event, I'll say deadline coming up, and maybe Brent, if you could talk to this, the placemaking grant that's available to people not only in Shiawassee County but also throughout the I-69 region. That deadline is coming up here at the end of the month. Brent, can you give folks just another reminder on what that grant's all about?
Sure. Just a quick overview. Again, this is for anybody in the I-69 corridor region. The grants are open to municipalities or nonprofits who have interest in any sort of placemaking activity. So that can be anything from, physical changes to a space to programming type projects. And the application is open and available. It's due June 1st. You should have seen those in the daily emails Justin's been sending out. If for any reason you haven't seen it or you just want it pushed to the top of your inbox, let us know, and somebody on staff can get you a copy of that application again.
Thank you, Brent. Let's see. Another item that I sent out yesterday, I had a lot more detail on it, was that entrepreneurial program through LEAP. I won't go into a lot of detail today, but this is for any entrepreneurs, the hatching. It's a Shark Tank competition out of Lansing. They're going to be doing it every month for the coming months. Shiawassee small businesses are open to enter. If you want to get in on the June event, need to submit that, I believe, by tomorrow, your idea. It doesn't have to be anything big, but it's basically an introductory idea. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. Jody, I know you had one or two things you wanted to touch on. Do you want to go ahead?
Sure. I just wanted to remind everybody that there is a webinar through the U.S. Chamber Foundation, Chamber of Commerce Foundation, today at 3 that will cover social distancing, sanitization, and more, basically how to create a healthy environment for your employees and your customers. Justin did send out information on that early in the week. There are no other SBDC webinars coming up this week. They had them on Monday and Tuesday. But you can go to their site to see on-demand webinars of any of the topics they've covered. Really good information on their website. And then Justin asked me to touch a little bit on the WorkShare. Some of you have heard this. I don't know if we have anybody new, but basically the WorkShare program allows you to keep your employees working with reduced hours. So initially, I believe it was set up to help if somebody needs to cut hours. So it can kind of kick in unemployment for the hours that you cut, so employees don't have to go without all of the pay. They have also started kind of focusing on bringing employees back at lower hours if necessary for the businesses that have been closed. So it can be used for that as well. It basically lets employees collect partial unemployment to make up for the portion of hours or lost wages that have been cut. So it does not apply to seasonal, temporary, or intermittent employees. Initially, it did not apply to part-time employees. It does apply now to part-time as long as that person would have qualified for regular unemployment. And using this, you're also eligible, or the employees are also eligible for the $600 federal money, the $600 a week through the end of July. That's when that actually stops. But it allows you to eliminate layoffs, or at least minimize layoffs, and retain the employees that you already have that are trained, so it saves you money and lets you keep your skilled workforce intact. And with that, you can have several plans within an organization. A plan has to cover 2 employees, so you can have a different plan for different shifts or different departments. You can decide how you want to do that. And each plan can be approved for up to 52 consecutive weeks. If you experience an increase in your business during that 52 weeks, you can stop the plan at any time. The employer does all of the work for this. They actually file for the employees. The employees would receive a letter letting them know that they have been accepted into this, but it's all done on the employer side. And it allows you to reduce hours anywhere from 10% up to 60%. Employees it was set up initially, employees had to be employed for at least 3 months. That is not the case anymore. They can be employed for any amount of time and be covered. And initially, the employers had to be in business for at least 3 years. That has also changed. Any employers can be eligible for this program at this time. They've made some changes to that. So to apply, you can just go to MyWham, go to the MyWham account, or your MyWham website, and set up an account. And it walks you through that program. I know the UIA had put out a really good webinar that explained how to do that. And I know part of what the webinars Justin mentioned through Michigan Works tomorrow will cover my share, or the WorkShare, So I'm guessing that they'll have some good information maybe on how to set this up as well. But if you have questions, you can let us know, and we can pass any information along that you might need.
Thank you, Jody. I think we just want to keep reiterating this. I mean, we all know this. One of the most fundamental challenges right now is because of that large ask that people are getting in the unemployment check. A lot of people don't necessarily want to go back to work, and this may be a way. I know, that hand can be forced, obviously. I mean, technically speaking, if you call an employee back to work and they say, no, I want to stay on unemployment, I mean, that can be grounds for denial. But I know a lot of you don't want to play hardball like that necessarily. So this could be a way to get them back in, still let them collect that check, but also be able to, basically get them back on the system with you. So something definitely to think about if you've not already. Just a couple of other items here. A lot of reiterating on programs out there, but one that I really do want to urge you, if you haven't looked at it, we had a speaker last Friday, Carolyn Casson from the Michigan Women Forward group. They are coordinating the new grant program, the Entrepreneur Resilience Fund. That is small grants for small business. I believe it's $1,000 to $5,000 per company. A nice program. I have heard several Shiawassee County companies have applied. So you're going to want to look up Entrepreneur Resilience Fund and or Michigan Women Forward, and you can find out more information on that. And then this is something a little different. I did want to mention, it's not really a funny story, but you probably heard about this. As you know, we can't return cans and bottles for the 10 cents in Michigan right now. And someone wrote a big article how there's like $50 million or whatever of cans that are sitting at home right now in Michigan because we can't return them. Well, Two of our robotics teams in Shiawassee County are taking on an effort to try to collect those cans for people. So since you can't take them back to the store, they will take them. And I think it's a great idea because robotics teams, as many of you know, we very much support them. They are building the talent pipeline of the future for particularly companies, need skilled trades, welding, robotics type businesses, things like that. So they are actually taking cans right now. I know the Shiawassee team has been set up out at the Knights of Columbus. Corunna is set up over at the Town Tub, right off Shiawassee Street over there. So if any of you have cans piling up in your house and you'd like to get rid of them and do it for a good cause to help our local teams, definitely I'd encourage you to do that. So if you need more information on where to do that at, please let me know. I did mention there was Knights of Columbus, I believe, and then Town Tub in Corunna. And then finally, just want to reiterate, as I always do, if anyone needs testing, that's available through Memorial Healthcare, virus and antibody testing, PPE. Jody, actually, we should send that out again, Jody, because you did update the spreadsheet. I think we have 15 companies in there now, maybe 16, that can offer products or services to help you. I know you may be in good shape now with masks and gloves, but you may need some down the road. So please refer to this list if you need any equipment or supplies or temperature checks. And then jobs, definitely let us know if you are in need of hiring. I actually talked to 3 or 4 companies yesterday alone that are looking for people. So definitely going to be competitive labor market out there. So if you need anything in terms of jobs, please let us know. So that's it for today. A pretty short call. We will, as I said, tomorrow have 2 speakers. We will have a gentleman from Metro Community Development to talk about their new funding program, and then Chris Schuler from Michigan Works to give you an update. So anybody have any comments or questions before we wrap today? *6 on your phone, please.
Hi, Justin.
Yeah.
This is Kim from the Shiawassee Community Foundation. How are you doing?
Good, Kim. What's happening?
I just wanted to let you know. Also, I saw on Facebook that the ARC is having a can drive today at 4 o'clock for bottles, a bottle drive, which would help ARC at 4 o'clock on Water Street if anyone's interested in dropping any bottles off there.
Oh, probably at our building, right? At the Armory?
Yep.
Okay. Very good. 4 o'clock today, everybody, at the Armory in downtown Owasso to support the ARC. Thanks for mentioning that, Kim.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything? Comments or questions? *6 on your phone. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Reminder, if you got a PPP loan, join us in about 40 minutes. You'll be able to learn a lot more about what you need to do. So thanks, everybody. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning.